For many years, I was actually kind of curious about these mini motos. Like, I always kind of wondered what it would be like to ride one, and if it's actually like a viable motorcycle. Which I guess makes me bike curious. But eventually curiosity got the better of me, and I ended up buying a Boom Vader BD125. That, of course, is a clone of a Gen 2 Honda Grom. Now, there are a few differences. The main thing is this is not a Japanese motorcycle. This is from a much larger Asian country known for copies of cheap products. And actually, when I was looking at these, I was actually looking at the Grom. Like, I wanted a Grom. But I didn't want to pay the new prices, mainly because we're talking a couple $1,000s. And there is a whole plethora of other bikes, better bikes, in my opinion, that you could get for a couple $1,000s. So, okay, how about a used Grom? Something like that. All right, well, started looking. And the trouble I was having is I couldn't find one that hadn't been tinkered with. Because I also wanted something stock. I wanted to be able to do my own thing, you know, put my own flair on it, my own spin on it, do what I want to the machine. You know, I wanted to be able to customize it and make it mine. And I just couldn't find a used one for, like, what I wanted to pay. Like, I didn't want to pay more than, like, $2,500, maybe $3,000 at the most. And that's when I found out about the clones. This thing, I paid $1,400 from a dealer out in California to have this thing shipped across the country, which they did that for free, by the way. It came like 90% assembled. You got to put the front wheel on, hook the rear shock up, the handlebars. I think some of the controls, got to get put on there. Whoa. Holy crap, the stoplight's down. Dang, ain't going that way. Not that I necessarily got anywhere to be, I'm just goofing around, but goodness gracious. But that was the motivating factor, it was the dollars. You know, and I kept hearing, like, oh, these aren't as refined as the Groms, they're gonna vibrate a little bit more, it just made it seem like, okay, yeah, it's a cheap product, it's an inferior product. Honestly, I am pleasantly surprised. I expected this thing to be just like a total freaking mess. Freaking everything loose, everything shaking, super underpowered, which I'm 5'11", 240, 250-ish. So with me on it, it's a little underpowered anyway, but... And of course, these are my observations with just this bike, you know? I've never ridden a Grom. It'd be cool to ride a Grom. But you know what? $3,000 to $4,000 versus like $1,400 to find out whether or not I even like these little things? I can justify the cost a heck of a lot easier. And the other thing, as opposed to a Grom, this thing's actually carbureted. So it's a lot simpler to work on. Well, once you know what you're doing, I'm not like an expert or anything. I've been messing around with my air fuel trying to get that straight, but she's running pretty good. Because with the Groms being fuel injected, you got to get a tuner to freaking get all that set up. Once you start doing the intake and exhaust, I mean, come on, because I wasn't going to leave it stock. Like, modifications were, like, definitely on the table. That's the whole reason for getting one of these little things. Because if I was going to get one of these and keep it stock, I may as well just buy an e-bike or something. But I don't know if an e-bike would go this fast. I mean, I'm pushing, like, 50 right now, 4th gear. Which I got a 16-tooth front sprocket in here right now. I also did a nibby 22mm carb, full exhaust. Calibrated the speedo, new flat seat, quick turn throttle. I got mirrors and levers. I might change these bars out, not sure. I don't hate the factory bars. I know a lot of guys swap them out to pro tapers, something that's a little wider, maybe sit a little taller, but they're also probably trying to do wicked sweet stunts in this thing, and I ain't trying to do that. Which that was actually Raleigh PD behind me, but you know what the neat thing about this? Is I can't actually speed on surface streets with this thing, for the most part, because I can't go fast enough. But getting back to parts and modifications, every piece I bought for this bike, all the upgrades, even the seat was the most expensive because it's flat, because I'm taller, the stock one had a hump in there, and this lets me slide back a little bit, it's actually pretty comfortable. That was like $170, and I think that's the most expensive thing I've bought for this so far. I say so far, because, hey, you never know. But the total of all those pieces is actually less than what the tuner would cost me for a Grom. For a Power Commander, anyway. I didn't do a ton of research. I just typed in Power Commander because I know that's a popular one. And a Power Commander is actually what I have in my Kawasaki Mean Streak, so I know it's a good product. And it was about 500 bucks. But I think when you own a clone like this, though, I mean, they say, yeah, you gotta be a little handy. And you know what? Yeah, you kind of do a little bit. You kind of do. You kind of have to at least own a set of tools and have half an idea of what they do. Because you don't have to be an expert. Nobody's an expert. I mean, I might be an expert. I mean, I'm not. That's why I said might. So that way I can have complete deniability. But there's tons of videos out there. I mean, I've made a couple. Chili Dog Motorsports has made a couple. There's almost a bajillion videos on how to do virtually everything to this bike. Because it's definitely less intimidating working on something like this than like a bigger motorcycle. But still, it gets you the basics. And actually, coming from someone who really doesn't like working on things, because I think it's a pain in the butt, or actually mostly it's because my 30-minute projects turn into 3-hour projects, and towards the end I get frustrated and I just want it to be done. Little bump. Ooh. Or even if you just needed cheap transportation, they make great little commuters, and that's kind of what I bought mine for. But I'll go ahead and tell you now, I really don't regret buying this thing. I was on the fence for the longest time, like I thought it wouldn't be very fun, it wouldn't be very fast. Yeah, it's not very fast, but that's why it's fun. Because you can run wide open just about everywhere, and you're not really speeding, at least not on a 55 miles per hour road, not enough to where anybody's gonna care. And you might look a little goofy, but you know what? People are looking at you. They're like, wow, what's that little weird bike this weirdo's on? I mean, and that's what they see on the outside. They might see some big, fatter guy cruising around on like a little tiny mini bike looking thing. And man, that guy sure looks goofy, but they can't see what's going on behind the helmet, dude. I am smiling ear to ear. So if you're thinking about getting one of these bikes and you're not really sure yet, if you can afford it, buy the Grom. Probably. It's probably way more refined than this, but if you want a clone, definitely check these things out. And if you're worried about looking goofy riding around on one, don't worry. 99% of people are probably looking at their phones anyway. But I'm having an absolute blast, and my feelings have not changed since day one. And if you'd like to see my first ride, my first take, my first impressions on the little Boom Vader BD125-10, you can check that video out right here. As always, y'all be good. See ya.